Merry meet and welcome everyone. I am your celestial host, Sirona Rose, and welcome to the Astro Tarot Show. In this show, we will talk about astrology. I will do a astrology reading explaining what energies are happening at this time, and then I will be doing a divination reading in the second part. So I will be dividing this up so the video is not too long. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying this Libra season that we are having. On the 28th, we had that new moon and it began a new cycle, and that influence will continue until our next new moon. And now we are preparing for our full moon in Aries on the 13th. But before I get into that, I want to make a little bit of announcements to let you know what's going on. I do provide astrology updates on my social media pages. On Instagram, it's Sirona Rose _AstroTarot. You can find me on Facebook, AstroTarot Report, or you can search for AstroTarot with Sirona Rose. Now, just a reminder, I also write for the awesome pagan magazine, The Witch's Brew. I write the column, The Witch's Kitchen, Healing, Cooking, and Herbs the Witch Way. And I do believe I showed you all another copy. This is the one that has me on there. If you would like to get that one, it is volume 6, issue 4. And this is October, November, and December of 2018 of last year. This is really good. I wrote about, there's some stories about me if you'd like to know me a little bit better. And it's just a really cool magazine. It's you can check it out. It's got wonderful pictures in there, all kinds of good stuff. So yeah, this is a great magazine, and it's written by people who have been trained and initiated in their occult past. And this one, I talked about the chaga mushroom. You can see me right there. But yeah, that's a great magazine. You'll want to get that. You can go to ancientsisters.com, and we are just releasing our new issue, so you'll want to get that. I will be listing all of the links that I mentioned in the discussion box below. Now, for all of you pagan musicians and those that love pagan music, you need to check out International Pagan Music Association. This is for pagan musicians and those that want to help support them. It's an excellent way for the musicians to get their name out there, and you will be promoted worldwide. We have voting every year, and it will begin January, February timeframe, and the winners receive a beautiful crystal award that's super sweet. So you can support, you can vote for your favorite pagan musicians, support them, and just become aware of all this wonderful music that we have. They're in mainstream, they have their own awards, and usually our pagan musicians kind of get neglected. This way they don't. Go on over to ipaganma.org for more information. Fringe TV .online. You can now see me on there as well. That is a pagan and alternative programming. They bring you metaphysical contents, movies, there's talk shows, there's documentaries, shopping, so much more on there. So you can go and check that out. It's fringetv.online. I am also looking for sponsors for that. So if you want to advertise your business on there, it does have to be in video format. You can contact me at astrotarotreport@gmail.com. Again, I will be listing all of these pages on in the discussion box there, so you can find it there. It's very affordable. I do know how expensive advertisement can be just within your own area, and this advertisement is very, very reasonable, and you get worldwide coverage. Now, I want to do a big shout out and a thank you to the Cauldron Radio that airs my show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as the Circle of Ancient Sisters for all the work that they do for our community here and abroad. On Wednesday nights on the Cauldron Radio, you can check out The Tangled Web of Wicca with your host, High Priestess Raindove. That is her show, Wicca 101. It's a great educational show for Wiccan witches and pagans alike. And of course, my show, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can stay up to date with your latest celestial events. And I just wanted to let everybody know that Alfred Willahawk's show up close and personal interviews that matter, is on vacation right now. I'm not really sure how long he will be, but as you know, if you have a coven or a temple and you work within the community, all this stuff that we do can get tiring, and we all need a break sometimes. So he is enjoying a well-needed break. He does a lot for his community. So, Astro Tarot basically is an astrology reading followed by a divination reading. And in video format, I will be dividing it up, so the divination will be part 2 of that. These videos can get long because I can get lost in our stars with all of this information. So I don't want to, kind of bore you to death in one video. That way you can watch one at one time and one at a separate time. Now, this is the Astro Tarot show is astrology reading followed by divination reading, and we work and it tells us how and explains to us how we can work through these energies, all along the concept of as above, so below. Astrology has been a part of my life ever since I was a preteen, and it's just very much intrigued me my whole life. Many people, and I see right now on YouTube, there's so many different pages with astrology, and I see many times people jumping into astrology thinking all you really need to know is your sun, your moon, your rising. Astrology is a vast abyss of information, and there's just so much to learn, and you can learn something new every day. I began writing an Earth energy report back in 2015, and I've progressed this much in the past 4 years, and I have just really enjoyed studying and learning more about astrology. I began the blog Terra Rubrae talking about these earth energies as I was seeing what was happening in our world, and people were coming to talk to me because I am a reader and I am a Reiki master, so I had a lot of people talking to me about different energies they were feeling, and I started noticing how it lined up with astrology. So this is the reason why I began writing about it, to prepare people, to help them be able to consciously maneuver through these different energies, giving someone a heads up, and especially for those that are super sensitive to their energetic environments. This way, I just try to help people as much as I can just consciously maneuver through these energies. Now, at that same time, I began giving new and full moon tarot readings, and I just saw how these tarot readings were really corresponding with the astrology readings I was given. So Astro Tarot just combines the two. It makes it simpler, and it shows the true connection of as above and so below. So my goal for you for this show is to understand what energies are influencing us from our celestial bodies. And to help you learn how to consciously apply astrology into your life so we can expect what energy is coming at you, so you can move through it consciously and hopefully peacefully and easily. These energies are happening whether we are conscious of it or not, and I feel that it's better to be conscious of them so you can be an active participant in your life, working with the fates, using your free will to co-create what you want in your life. Now, I just want to add something because I see a lot of different memes and a lot of different people talking about astrology on social media. Astrology itself is neutral. It does not cause things to happen. It just explains the underlying energy that we might be feeling. And, astrology is a connection to something bigger than us, and it makes us aware of our sensitivity to our energetic environment. And we have to remember that in today's world, astrology is really considered New Age, and I just want to tell you that it's not. At one time, such as Ptolemy's time, for example, it was taught right alongside astronomy. So it was very important then because of the energies that it was sending to our planet and how those energies affected us. So in this show, normally the study of astrology involves the throat chakras up, right? As we're using it to enlighten us, to gain greater knowledge, or sort of like a spiritual evolution of sorts. So here, we'll be bringing that cosmic energy down to us, down through us, grounding it into Mother Earth. And if you're pagan, it is very comparable to walking the wheel of the year. And if you look at our astrology and what's going on with our celestial bodies, and you look at our Celtic wheel of the year, you will see how much it corresponds together. So I want to thank you so much for joining me and watching my video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this. And let's talk about the celestial events that before us for the week of October the 10th through October the 16th of 2019. Thank you so much for watching, as this is a lot of intense energy, and there's a lot of things happening in our celestial heaven right now that we really need to be aware of. Now, back on the 3rd, Pluto stationed, which made us feel his energy heavily. When a planet stations, it's closer to the Earth because it's not moving. You know, when a planet is retrograde, it appears as if it's moving backwards, but it's not. It's just the Earth has passed it. So now it's stationed. Now it's moving direct. And this energy can come across as underhanded energy, or it can be the hard hand of the law, especially since Pluto is in Capricorn, which is law and government. And this intense energy is going to set the tone through October. I will tell you that the energy that we had in September is not the same as we're going to be having in October. The great energy that we had in September that was going on between Jupiter and Sagittarius and Neptune and Pisces, which was very positive, optimistic, and creative. But that energy also caused some confusion as well. So this energy is beginning to fade away, and it's giving us some very welcomed clarity. And some of us could be getting some reality checks. Some cold, hard facts could be smacking us in the face right now. You know, Libra is an easygoing sign. It's the sign of balance. It's the sign of give and take. And on the 23rd, the sun is going to be moving into Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto. So yes, this is very intense energy, and it will last us throughout the month of October as well as going into November. Now, our personal planets are moving from Libra into Scorpio. Mercury moved in Scorpio on the 3rd, the same day that Pluto stationed and went direct. And this is really going to have us wanting to think deeper. It's looking below the surface of things. In relationships, these intense feelings can also be felt as well as you're wanting to look beyond the superficial. You want to look beyond the looks, look beyond the lust, and get to the realness of it. Get to the roots. There could be some power plays during this time, and this bunching up of our planets, our personal planets to be exact, will continue throughout the year as we are building up energy to January 2020, when we'll be having that alignment between Pluto and Saturn. Now, we're moving from faking it until we make it until actually doing it. This is about action, and this full moon is going to be that initiatory energy that we need. Now, I'm sorry if you hear me a little stuffy and a little hoarse. I am suffering from some allergies. It's fall here in the Low Country, and it has really affected me. So I am sorry if I sound a little nasally. Please forgive me with that. Now, there's one thing that I do want to talk about, and I feel that is really needed at this time. The planets are really speaking to us, and I feel that we really need to pay attention to what's being said. On October the 8th, Venus moved into the sign of Scorpio. and this movement represents the goddess's descent into the underworld. Now, one of the famous myths about the descent of the goddess into the underworld is the one of Inanna. But I'm not going to talk about that one. That one is a well-known one. I'm going to stick to my roots and talk about the European Celt version of the goddess's descent into the underworld. Now, this myth, as anybody knows about the European Celtic tradition of witchcraft or Wicca, they will know this. And this is a very important movement because it explains a lot to the goddess. Now, because the goddess is immortal, one mystery she had to solve was the mystery of death. So in her wonder, she boarded her boat and began her journey down the sacred river of descent. Then she approached the first of 7 gates into the underworld. Here she was challenged by the guardian. The guardian explained that for her to receive entrance, something must be given, and the guardian demanded one of her garments for passage. At each of the 7 gates, this was what was required, as she had to pay the price for passage to enter the underworld. The guardian explained that the goddess must strip off her garments and set aside her jewels, as nothing that she brought with her was allowed in this realm. At the first gate, she surrendered her scepter. At the second gate, she surrendered her crown. At the third gate, she surrendered her necklace. At the fourth, her ring. At the fifth, her girdle. At the sixth, her sandals. And at the 7th, her gown. She surrendered them all willingly to the guardian and was bound, as this is the requirement for all of the living who seek to enter the realm of death and the mighty ones. So here the great goddess stood completely naked before death, and her beauty overtook him. She was such a beautiful woman before him that as she entered his realm, death knelt before her. He laid his crown and his sword at her feet, saying, "Blessed be thy feet that have brought you down this path." Then he arose and said, "Abide with me, I pray, and receive my touch upon your heart." The goddess replied, "But I love thee not. Why do you cause all things that I love and take delight in to fade and die?" Death replied, "My lady, it is age and fate against that which you speak. I am helpless, for age causes all things to wither. But when men die at the end of time, I give them rest and peace and strength. For a time they dwell with the moon and the spirits of the moon. Then may they return to the realm of the living. But you are so lovely, I ask you to return not, but abide with me here." The goddess answered, "No, for I do not love you." Death said, "If you refuse to embrace me, then you must kneel to death's scourge." The goddess answered him, "If it is to be, then it is fate, and better so." So the goddess knelt in submission before the hand of death, and he scourged her with so tender of a hand that she cried out, "I know your pain and the pain of love." Death raised her to her feet and said, "Blessed are you, my queen, my lady." Then he gave her the 5 kisses of initiation, stating, "Only thus may you attain to knowledge and to joy." And he taught her his mysteries and gave her the necklace which is the circle of rebirth. and she taught him her mysteries of the sacred cup, which is the cauldron of rebirth. They loved and joined in union with each other, and for a time the goddess dwelled in the realm of death. This explains the three mysteries in the life of man: sex, birth, and death, and love controls them all. You must meet, recognize, remember, and love them anew. To die, you must be born. To be born, you must die. But without love, you may not be born among your own. Now, that is a very powerful story, and it talks about the goddess having to strip away all of her material in the realm of death, such as the sign of Venus when she enters into the sign of the Lord of the underworld. She does so out of love. Venus represents love and prosperity. Scorpio represents passion, seduction, and possessiveness. Yes, this can be a very sexy energy, one of great passion, and for the next 3 weeks, this is what we will have. But on November 1st, she will be moving into Sagittarius, and it'll be a whole new different ball game. So we're really going to be able to tap into this energy right now to help our love relationships. Our last new moon was in Libra, which planet is Venus. So this is really tapping into relationships. It's tapping into balancing them. It's tapping into making them stronger. At this time, you can meet someone that will open up your romantic side, and it is a time that's going to be really easy to fall in love. It is likened to the myth of the descent of the goddess, being someone that loves the parts of you that no one else can see. You, deep down to the core, without all the material layers that you set before you to the public. The mask that you wear to the public, those things that no one else can see, you down deep to the core. Now, this is placing us in an energy where we can allow those walls that we have built up to crumble. And it will also have us exposing our vulnerability as well. This can be really good for a lot of people, but you have to be careful here because, this energy can take us to darker territory. Now, this isn't just for those that are looking for love either. It is also for those that are already in relationships, that are married or have a long-term relationship, as this can be a time to deepen that relationship, allowing it to become stronger. And for those whose relationships have been strained, it's a great time to mend it and to bring that passion back. Now, again, I want to add this. This is very intense passion and is very sexy energy. So be careful while you may be getting your fantasies played out. Make sure it doesn't take you to the darker territory where things can get carried away. Now, on the 12th, Venus will oppose Uranus, and this is about freedom, independence, openness, and emotional freedom. So this is really going to be tacking into that energy as well. You can really experience newfound emotional freedom in your relationships. Maybe for those who haven't been able to be yourselves in relationships, this could be a time that you could become more of yourself, be more you, and expose your vulnerability to your mate, to your lover, to your wife, husband, your significant other, whoever that may be. Now let's talk about other events that are happening. We have a full moon coming up that's really going to enhance this energy as well. On October the 13th, 2019, at 5:08 p.m. Eastern, 2:08 p.m. Pacific and 10:08 p.m. UK. This we will be having our full moon in Aries. Now at full moons, the sun and the moon are opposing each other. They are opposite. And they are also going to be squaring Pluto. Now this could bring up issues of power. There could be power plays in relationships, and this is not just considering your romantic relationships. This is regarding all of your relationships as well, because this is connecting that Scorpio energy with Venus. Okay. Now we can see these power plays be expressed within our inner world as well as our world stage, what's going on in the world right now. And all of us have something going on within our countries. No matter where you are, there is something going on with our governments. This can bring up jealousy, possessiveness, trust, and betrayal can be highlighted here. Remember, the full moon shines the light in the shadows, okay? So it illuminates the things that are hidden, things that we didn't want to know anything about, or maybe those things that we didn't want to see. And this goes for our world as well. So we could be finding out secrets from our world leaders in this, not only just in our personal lives. This could be in our world leaders, our governments. This could be more things becoming exposed. Full moons are good for releasing. And it's about releasing what no longer serves you. And this is a good moon to release those things personally, such as the toxicity within yourself. Are you being toxic about something? And what are we showing? What are we being negative about? What are we being toxic about? Those things that we continue to stay chained to, those things that are negative and toxic in our lives, such as addictions, things like that. We cannot suppress these things anymore, as we can project them onto others. How many of us have had relationships go bad because we self-sabotage it? This is about releasing that, and dealing with all of our negative traits, those things that we do that sabotage our happiness. It's also it's a time for action at this time, because we have 5 planets in cardinal signs, and these are initiatory planets. They initiate energy. This is dynamic energy, and it's about taking action. Remember, I said we're no longer into faking it till we make it. It's about getting up and actually doing something. We can no longer be lazy about this. Being able to have clear and great focus and achieving goals. This is going to be a really good time, especially with Jupiter and Neptune, their energy fading. We're going to have a good time for some clarity. Also, there's a beneficial trine aspect to lucky Jupiter. He will be making a nice little harmonic energy with the full moon in October. So this will be a bit more positive. So, Jupiter is our joyous god. He likes to have fun. He likes to, he's about expansion. And this is a nice positive energy that will be, that will be harmonizing with our full moon. So this is good energy for us. Now, normally, full moons are about reaping what you have sown. And for many, there could very well be a time for a new beginning. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It starts spring. And especially with all of this cardinal energy, it does give this full moon a jolt of energy that we very much need. This can bring some challenging emotions, such as anger taking us over. And what are you frustrated about? What is angering you? And it's about taking that energy and transmuting it and putting it into things that can positively affect us. To make things, how can we take this negative energy that we're feeling and turn it into a positive so we can become productive? It's transforming your life into a positive way, making all of this intense energy work for you, taking that energy and transmuting it into productive energy, right? Focus, intent, clarity. Since this month is carrying the energy from the last moon we had, it will also be highlighting relationships. This moon can be very good for those in relationships that are having a rough time, as this full moon is occurring in the constellation Andromeda, and it promotes love and love reconciliation. Especially combined with the energy of the last new moon we had, it can bring good fortune to troubled relationship. Now the moon, or the symbol for the constellation Andromeda, is the chained woman who gives purity of thought, virtue, honor, and dignity, but causes battle with inner fears and a tendency to become easily discouraged. But it also gives love between husband and wife to reconcile adulterers. So this is a good relationship, a good energy to help mend those relationships, to help patch those that are broke. This could be a time that you could be getting back, mending those hurts that were felt in a relationship that you're still involved with. So, like I said, this is really good energy for relationships. And I want to add, this full moon will also trine with Jupiter, and this is bringing us positive energy, okay? He's still going to, even though he's not having his meeting with Neptune, Jupiter is still bringing some welcomed positive energy to this mix. It makes us easier to become aware of our emotions and to share them with our loved ones. So if your relationship is in crisis, it's good for that. Now the square from Pluto is causing some eruptions as well, but you will have the opportunity to transform and evolve from it to deeper and stronger relationships. Full moons are about releasing, so it's an excellent time to let go of addictions and bad habits. Right now, it's going to be easy to gain conscious awareness over your intense emotions and share them with your loved ones. Any relationship crisis caused by this full moon square with Pluto can be turned into an opportunity to transform and evolve. So you can clear these from your subconscious as well as transforming your emotions. Think in terms of alchemy. This is working from the inside out. Okay? Now, I did mention above about Pluto's effect on the full moon. Jupiter will also be having a harmonizing aspect with Pluto, and this is about powerful forces working in your life. This energy can help you make those positive changes in your life, to change directions, and to connect on a deeper spiritual level as well. Even though this is a loose aspect, they are both in strong connection with the full moon, and this can really be a profound influence on the direction that you want to take your life. I will say that this month is going to have some dynamic energy, and it can be fast energy, so you better hang on because it's intense energy. Venus and Mars are pretty much in each other's domain. Now, I say Mars because Mars is, at one time, before Pluto was discovered, Mars was Scorpio's planet. Okay? So with Venus in Scorpio And Mars and Libra, they're in each other's sign. And they're not really powerful here. They're not too weak, but they're not powerful as well. But they are assisting each other. And this is partnership. Okay? So, some more aspect. Uranus is opposing Venus. Remember, Uranus is our awakener, and he is about shakeups. So while Venus is in Scorpio, she could be awakened to things about herself. She's going deeper. She's shedding those things that really no longer serve her. Many people are beginning to leave behind the materialistic things in life, the big houses, the fancy cars. Many people are opting for a more simpler life. They want the tiny houses. They want a vehicle that does for them what they need to do, especially economical as well as environmental. So people are working with this energy, and whether they realize it or not, they are working within this energy. But here with Uranus right across from Venus, she could really have to face some things about herself that she really didn't want to see. And combined with this full moon that lights up the darkness, oh yes, you may have to come face to face with some aspects about yourself that you really are not proud of. So this full moon will bring up emotional issues that can no longer stay in the dark. It is a time to transform them. It is a time to evolve. Change, our only constant, is happening in your life, and change can cause turbulence. That's why many of us choose to stay in our comfort zones and we become stagnant. Because with change, when we move beyond it, it causes us to get up and move, right? Now, since Pluto is applying pressure to this moon, he is definitely stating that change is here and that it must happen. The sun in Libra wants harmony and peace, but there is a lot of energy that is keeping our attention. It's keeping us on our toes, so to speak. And you can rise through this pressure, okay? Whatever comes up at this time, please know that you have the energy there to work through it. Mercury retrograde will be in Scorpio, and that will happen on October 31st. So this is connecting into your untapped personal power. Now, sure, right now that's a few weeks away, but we are in that shadow. And we have to understand that retrogrades are not bad luck. They're not negative. Retrogrades are simply a time to go within. They're about reprioritizing, reorganizing, remembering, all the re's. It's bringing you back to yourself. Mercury retrograde, yes, it can cause trouble in communications. If you're signing contracts during this time, please make sure that you read all of the fine print. There can be misunderstandings. It's good to have, for me, I like to verbally talk to people versus texting or emailing back and forth, because when you're verbally talking to someone, you can hear the tone. You can hear what the relationship's about, the conversation, what that's going on, what is happening with this conversation. And text is really, really dry. So there could be a lot of miscommunications through that. Watch out for that. Make sure that you are very clear with what you're trying to communicate. Now, Scorpio is going to be, like I said, on the 24th, the sun will move into Scorpio. So this is going to be all about transformation. Scorpio is not a bad sign. It is one that makes us get off our butts and do our inner work. And this is perfect energy as we go into Samhain, which is November 1st is the new year. So it's a time, it begins our dark half of the year. And our dark half of the year is what? Us going inside. We are reassessing our past year. What was good for us? What do we need to release? Thinking about new seeds that we need to plant for the coming up year. So this is really good energy at this time. You do not have to be in fear of this. I know that there's I've seen some memes out there that are just, as an astrologer, I feel that I have a responsibility to help you unfold this astrology, help you unfold the universe and help you live it, help you consciously understand these energies that are coming to you so you can easily and peacefully move through them. You can become aware of it. I do not like to, and I do not condone people striking fear in others. Oh, it's Mercury retrograde, it's gloom and doom. No, it's not gloom and doom. This is when we do our inner work. The dark half of the year is not something to be afraid of. The underworld is not something to be fearful of. It is a time of working on yourself. It is a time of healing. It's a time of mending. Just as Venus, as I described when the goddess's descent into the underworld, you're peeling away the many layers that just really do not serve you to expose that which you truly are, your strength, your true gifts. It's a time of taking the mask off, of letting the walls down, and really allowing your inner light to shine. And that's what this is about. That is what I feel this life is about, is for us to consciously unfold so we can allow our inner light to shine. Okay? So that is it for that. I don't want to keep you on here too much. I know we've already hit 40 minutes. And again, I'm so sorry that, I have this allergy attack going on, and I'm trying to stay grounded because, if anybody has sinus problems and has allergy issues, you kind of feel a little bit out of your head. And I'm so sorry. I'm trying to, stay grounded here and do this with my throat and everything going on. So thank you so much for continuing to listen to this video and watching it. And I do hope you enjoy this full moon. It's going to be a full moon in Aries, and Aries is wonderful energy as well. I know that many people see Aries as a warrior, and true, Aries is warrior energy. It is initiatory. It is that pioneering, go-get-it energy, but it also is passion energy. It's about pursuing your passion. So this can be a really good time to have your passion shown to you. It's a time of clarity. That's what full moons do. Full moons light up the shadow. So it can help you find clarity in pursuing your passion. So I do hope that you enjoy this full moon. It will be on the 13th, and I will put a reminder down there in the bottom. But again, I wish you all blessed full moon, and may you find clarity this full moon. May you release what no longer serves you, and enjoy this Venus in Scorpio and allow it to do its work. And I wish you all a very wonderful week, and remember to check my show out every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on thecauldron.net. And I look forward to chatting with you. We do have a chat room, and you can come on over and ask me questions or just say hey. I'll be over there, and this Thursday night I'll be in there as well. I'll be traveling Thursday, but Thursday night I will be in there. I should be able to sign in and chat if you want to do that. So until next time, same witch time and same witch place. I'll see you all later. Merry part until we merry meet again.